Can we begin?
Bible. I, Philip Hammond,
Do swear
do swear
the Almighty God
to the Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give
that the evidence I shall give
to this committee
to this committee
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
nothing but the truth.
nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
You're welcome, officer. I'm here. You're welcome, officer.
Thank you, madam.
Please, I would take you through your evidence. You will say what you have to say. But if at a point we need some clarity or explanation, then I ask you, then you come in again. And after that, the members of the panel would ask you their own questions. Okay. Now, please, can you give your full name again to the committee? Your full name.
My full name is Philip Kojo Hammond. 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 Hammond.
Please, can you tell us your station or your place as an officer?
I'm the Municipal Police Commander, Ejura, Ashanti.
And can you tell the committee your rank in the service?
I'm Deputy Superintendent of Police.
And how long have you been in Ejura?
Barely 10 months. 10 months.
And before you went there, and subsequent to you being there, can you assess the security situation in Ejura? How would you assess it?
Before this incident, the security situation at Ejura had reduced drastically because we used to have robbery on our highway. And when I took over, we put on certain measures in place. By putting on, we realized that the highway robbery was frequent. So we devised a means of putting up structures along the road where the robbery do occur, so that the personnel on duty can get somehow a shed to hide themselves, because we saw that there were no shed during the rainy season, raining time, and then it compels the personnel to leave the scene, and then immediately they leave the scene, the robbers take over. So after putting those structures along the roadside, it has reduced for the past 1 year.
Just give the reporters just a short time, they'll report. Now, the committee would want to find out from you whatever information you have about on the incidents that occurred in Ejura in June, specifically 28th and 29th of June this year. As the divisional commander, municipal, sorry, you can tell the committee whatever information you have on it.
Yeah, on the 26th at about 4 a.m., a case of causing harm was reported at the charge office. that around 2 a.m., Muhammad Idrisu, popularly known as Kaka, was returning from town with his motorbike. At the entrance of his house, unknown assailants hit his forehead with firewood, and he fell down unconscious. He was taken to hospital by his brother, Haruna Mohammed. And from there, he came to the charge office at Ejura.
Your voice is going down a bit, if you could. Yes, thank you.
After taking him to the hospital at Ejura Government Hospital, he came to the police station, and police accompanied the complainant to the scene of crime, that is the house where he was lynched.
Thank you, officer. But we already had the 2IC command, the deputy regional commander. He has given us some form of narration about the incident from the 26th to the 29th. Can I find out if he got that information from your outfit, even that you informed him?
Yes.
Okay.
He was informed through our normal chain of command. We are under Mampong Division. So,
sir, I will plead with you to speak into the microphone so that we can hear you.
Yes. I report directly to Mampong Divisional Command. And so, the regional commander was definitely informed because my divisional commander will also report to him.
Okay. So, in that regard, since we have already received much of the information from him and he came with documents, may I respectfully ask if you could tell us about the specific incident of the 29th, the shooting incident that day. If you were in Ejura at that time, on that day, were you in Ejura?
I was there.
Okay.
I was in Ejura.
All right, so please, if you can tell us about the involvement of the police on that day, on the 29th. What you know,
on the
how many men were deployed, and what steps they took on this incident. Thank you.
On the 29th, around 9 a.m., upon the request of the deceased family, that police should assist and escort the body to the hospital, mortuary for burial, cemetery for burial. I detailed some few policemen with the riot control van to accompany the family to the cemetery at Mimpasem. After the burial, when...
Commander, relax. This is only an inquiry. We just... can you take the microphone and give it to him so that he can hold it? Yes. That is better. Just relax. Don't feel tense because whatever information we want here is to make the appropriate recommendation. Nobody is going to arrest anybody here or do anything. We all want a peaceful Ghana. That's all.
After the burial and the police team, the riot control van, and the deceased family were returning home, the irate mob who accompanied the body together with the policemen to the cemetery started pelting stones to the police riot control van. And we have a video recording which we can show. I think we have handed it over to the commission. The driver took evasive action. The driver took evasive action to avoid any accident in anticipation of a possible attack.
Officer, please, can I find out? You said you have a video showing the mob throwing stones at the vehicle.
Yes, my lord.
Is it a video any policeman took, or the one on social media?
The one on the social media.
Okay. Please go on.
So the driver managed to retreat back to the station where we had information that the irate mob are organizing to attack the station once again.
Which station was it?
Ejura station.
Police station.
Ejura police station.
Thank you.
And other vital installations, including personal properties. Private properties, excuse me, private properties.
So, did you personally give any directives or command for the policeman to do anything after this information was received?
Yes, my lord. In our deployment, we left behind a standby team made up of police and military. And some policemen were also taken to the municipal assembly offices. And joint police military men were also on the streets of Ejura. Whilst at the charge office, information got to us that the irate youth armed with pump action guns, missiles, stones, and other offensive weapons were on rampage and blocked the road, started burning lorry tires. And on their way, they caused damage to the municipal fire commander's vehicle, private vehicle. They also caused damage to some shed popularly called base for MPP party faithfuls. That is where they normally sit. So police quickly, I confer with the military team on standby, the commander, to back us to face them, the crowd, the irate mob.
Okay, officer, please. So before you conferred with the military commander over there, can you tell the committee how many policemen were at the scene at that time, trying to fight not fight, but prevent the chaos that was going on? Can you tell how many policemen were around there at that time before you asked for help from the military?
We were 50 in number, but we had deployed some to the vital installations, like the municipal assembly, the roadblocks, and then we had a standby men, 10 also at the charge office. So only 15 policemen were on board the right control vehicle and then a pickup, 2 pickups of police vehicle.
15, 1-5.
1-5.
Okay, thank you. So you were the one who personally asked the military on the ground to help you?
Yes, because earlier on Monday, this same group came and vandalized the station. They caused damage to a police vehicle, a police inspector's 4x4 vehicle, disconnected our lights and the balls were smashed, and then extended their rampage to the district assembly / forestry checkpoint, destroyed the crash barrier there, the structures, the roofing sheets, and then vandalized the place and took away the revenue accrued for the day. That was Monday. So having this in mind, on Tuesday I saw that we have to be backed by the military.
Okay, so before you asked the military to help, had you contacted the regional police commander?
Yes, my lord. I communicated to my divisional commander.
Okay. No, I mean the regional. Or to your division before the regional?
That is our chain of command. I'm at the Ejura district, and so I'm under Mampong command. So I don't communicate direct to the regional commander, but through my divisional commander. So it was done appropriately.
Okay. So tell us, can you continue? So we called in the military, and what happened?
After that, he also gave me the go-ahead, and so the police riot control van and 2 other police vehicles took the lead. Backed by a military team of 7, including their commander. And the remaining military officers were with some policemen also at the charge office, Ejura police station.
Please continue.
When we move towards the direction of the irate mob, on reaching a place called Public Park Junction in Ejura, the irate mob were charged. They started throwing stones, missiles, offensive weapon, and sound of a pump action gun. was also hit.
Were you personally at the scene?
Yes, I moved the police team because they were under my command. They were brought from the regional command. So on the grounds, they were under my command.
Okay. Did you personally see the youth or the demonstrators or the rioters holding these weapons you just mentioned?
I didn't see, but I heard the sound. They were firing. I heard the sound of the pump action gun. But the missiles, stones, and other offensive weapons, they were throwing them. So I got down from my pickup and signaled the riot control van to start sprinkling the water on the crowd. Whilst they were sprinkling the water, the mob were not perturbed. They charged on us. Start throwing stones here and there. The situation became so tense. Later, we realized that the irate mob, they have taken over the whole place. Some have diverted their route to our side, both left and right, and some behind us. And some saying, let's go back to the police station. Let's go to the police station. So I instructed the riot control van to turn, and then police retreated for the military to take over, whilst we also continue to the charge office, where some of the irate mob was almost at the charge office.
So in your estimation, can you tell about how many number of demonstrators, rioters, let me put it that way, were at the scene?
Demonstrators?
About how many people?
Roughly about 600 to 800, roughly. 600 to 800, yes. So whilst at the charge office, we heard that some of the rioters have sustained injuries and been rushed to hospital, Ejura government hospital.
Were you told how they sustained the injuries? What happened that they sustained? What caused the injuries?
Yeah, I learned they were hit by a gun, the gunshot, and they sustained injuries. They fell, but they carried them to the hospital.
And this information you received from your men, policemen, or from the general public?
Yeah. All along, I was in link with my detective, the CI, the man who was handling the case, the Kakas case. I asked him that I've heard of a casualty at the hospital, and he also confirmed that he has also heard. But he wanted to go there, but the hospital was charged with the irate mob. So he could not go there instantly.
Okay, so at the time you left for the charge office, was there any policeman at all at the scene? Or all policemen had left?
I withdrew all my men. I withdrew all my men because we could not contain it.
So what happened? Continue.
So later, the military also came back. The military also returned from the scene. when the victims have been taken to the hospital for treatment.
Okay, so as it is now, you and your men at Ejura cannot give, from what you ask, cannot give any direct evidence of what actually happened at the scene at the time of the shooting, because there were no policeman was there that you know about.
Yes, because we heard that during the encounter with the military, a stone hit their commander, and then the military also returned fire.
Did you get to know about the Operation Calm Life team at the scene? Did anybody tell you that they were at the scene?
Operation Calm Life? No, please. I only know of a military team, some who were occupying 2 military pickups and 1 COVID-19 pickup, also with the team.
Were these groups there when you were there at the scene? When you were there, were these 2 pickups also there?
Yes, we move 1 car, 1 pickup to face the mob, the irate mob, but the other 2 were on standby at the charge office with the policemen.
Okay. So the COVID-19 vehicle, who were occupying it, military or the police?
The military had 1 of the COVID-19 vehicle, and police also had 1.
And they were both at the scene?
Both at the charge office. Both at the charge office with the standby men.
Right. So is there any more evidence that you have after you went to the charge office, you heard that some shooting had gone on?
Yes, ma'am.
And some persons had been injured.
Yes,
they had been taken to the hospital.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so is there anything else that you know about the incident?
So later on, when the tension at the hospital had gone down, I asked the investigator to go there, follow up to see the condition of, to see whether we have other casualties there, so that they can be recorded on our docket. And when he got there, according to him, it was confirmed that the 2 guys who sustained gunshot had passed on, and they were in a hurry to take the body from the doctor, because we were trying to request for a post-mortem to be performed on the bodies.
So did anything happen to you yourself? Did anything happen to you on this day in relation to this incident?
When we were retreating to the office, I sustained some injury with my leg. That is why I'm not wearing boots.
So the injury you sustained was not as a result of
the mob? No.
Okay.
So the mob did not allow the doctor to perform the post-mortem, and they were threatening him, so he had to release the body to the family for burial. But those who sustained injuries were later referred to Konfuanochi, and I learned 1 was also, they were taken to Konfuanochi, but 1, I don't know for what, he was taken to Nkuranza also, but later was also referred back to Konfuanochi, but treated and discharged. So 2 died in the midst of attack.
So at the time you were leaving, did you personally see the military men who were on the ground? Did you see them?
Yes. Yes, I was with the military all the time. Only after the commander had sustained some the true stone on him in the evening, he was called back to their unit for treatment. And then an officer was brought to replace him.
Thank you. So is there any more information that you have, or you're done?
No information.
Okay. Do you have any documents or anything else that you want to give to the committee? Do you have anything? Not necessarily. I'm just asking if you brought along anything you want to give to the committee. Any documents?
All the documents were given to my regional commander, and I know he has tendered them.
Okay. Thank you very much. The panel members will ask you a few questions.
Okay.
Yes, the DSP.
Yes, sir.
Let me find out from you. You said the youths attacked the police station earlier on.
Yes, my lord. On Monday.
That was on the 28th.
Yes, my lord.
And you had intelligent reports about what they wanted to do the next day. That's 29th. You said you had a report that they wanted to burn or attack the police station, other assembly premises, and other places. You had an intelligent report.
In both cases, we got a report.
Yes. Having received this report, did you assess your capability of dealing with this issue in the event they carry out the threat? Did you do an assessment?
I got the report through my divisional commander, and he brought one team from Mampong Division as a backup. And the regional command also brought two teams comprising of FPU team with the riot control van, and then the SWAT team. So those team, the three backups, they were, together with my personnel on the ground, were deployed for, and the attention was on the charge office, the police station, and then other installations like the district assembly office. So these areas were provided with security. But that of the revenue checkpoint was not part of the information.
From your own assessment, do you think the combined team from the region, the division, and your district were adequately resourced to handle the situation?
No, my lord. Because not all of them were armed. Under normal circumstances, when we are handling such a situation, not everybody is armed, only a few. We don't arm every policeman with a gun, specifically with a weapon.
I'm not talking about weapons, but you see, you know a group of demonstrators.
Yes.
If you want to handle them, we have various equipment that you use to tackle such situations. That's what I'm talking about. Do you think you were adequately resourced at that given time to handle the situation on the ground?
No, please.
Did it come to your mind to asking for the backup to request additional resources to tackle the situation?
Yes, my Lord. That is why I requested through my divisional commander to give me a backup. And I knew very well that when he is deploying personnel to augment my strength, he will give them the needed logistics to come and support us.
You also said the commander responsible for the military on the ground was hit by a stone.
Yes,
and he got injured. Would you consider that as the reason why the military got incensed and decided to fire, open fire?
No, my Lord.
You did not see Operation Calm Life at the scene?
No, my Lord.
And nobody told you that they have deployed Operation Calm Life to Ejura to handle the situation? Nobody told you that?
No, my Lord. We were only informed that a military team has been deployed and they will arrive there with a police team from the regional command.
So
where they came from, I cannot tell, my Lord.
So the police team from the regional command came, the military team also came, but not that they were working together as an operational team.
They all came to support Ejura, so on the ground we were working together.
I'm not talking about the fact that they have come, you have come, and you are all tackling the same problem. As an operational team, you know, Operation Calm Life consists of the police and the military working together in collaboration. It's a permanent sort of thing. But from what you are describing, the police sent in their reinforcement, the military sent in these people to also come and help, but not as a joint military police team as we know them to be Operation Calm Life.
My Lord, I requested for reinforcement through my divisional commander, and he assured me that he has also communicated same to the region, and so a backup will come. So whilst we were there, the two teams arrived together. The team of military and that of police arrived.
You are the district commander, and if they were sending Operation Calm Life, you would have been informed.
My Lord, that's why I'm saying that I don't know specifically. You know, the military, they have their setup. In my briefing, I was talking of police, FPU, and SWAT. For them, I know them as normal backup during our operations. But that of the military, I don't know the composition. I only know that they all appeared there as a military team.
DSP, you know, as a fact, we have Operation Calm Life. Members of the police are part of that group. The military-police collaboration, known as Operation Calm Life. That is different from strictly military men being asked to support. My question is, did anyone inform you that they have dispatched Operation Calm Life, not military men? Operation Calm Life consists of police and military. Did you receive any information from your chain of command or from anywhere that they have dispatched Operation Calm Life men to come to Ejura?
No, my Lord.
Thank you.
All right. Deputy Soup, to the best of your knowledge, you described to the committee that the family of the deceased had asked you to give them protection at the cemetery. To the best of your knowledge, why did they feel that they needed protection at the cemetery?
Well, Ejura, they have their own way of doing it. I cannot tell, but I cannot tell the reason, but because of the situation on the ground, and the people have made a request, we felt that in order to calm situations, because it's the same family that has lost their son, and we felt that by giving them the assistance, one way or the other, it will, in a way, take care of some of their grief.
But at this time, there wasn't a riot from what you've described. At the time the death occurred and the brother of the deceased had made his report to you, had the rioting started before the body was released? Is that what you said? On Monday, we effected some arrests of some 2 suspects. On Monday, 2 people were arrested. And there was the information that they belong to a particular political party. So I'm sure those who made the request were afraid that something might happen to them. Maybe those people arrested, some of their decisions will attack them. That is because of the arrest we made, there was some tension. Okay,
in town.
so just related to that, what do you think triggered the pelting of your men at the cemetery? Was there a trigger point? Was there a catalyst?
No, I suspect when they saw that the team that accompanied them were only police. Because on Monday, when they vandalized the station, we were not having enough military men. And they were about 7 or so there. So, and they were on standby. They were on standby at the charge office. But after they have gone on rampage and destroyed so many things, we saw that maybe the next day we will get some attack more than that. So we only requested for a backup, but maybe in the wisdom of our authorities, they felt that they have to bring in more to build the strength.
I'll leave the good professor to discuss the issue of you saying that there were just policemen and perhaps that's why they needed the military. And I will continue with clarifying on different aspects of your testimony. Now, I'm curious as to how you work with the CID that is part of your station. Does the CID report to you? Do they have a different reporting line? What's the collaboration?
Yes, I am the district commander, but I also have a crime officer who also guide the CIDs. But in all things, I must also supervise. So after the crime officer has dealt with the CID, he would have to bring the parties for me to also interrogate. So whatever happens at the district, I must be in the know.
And so I asked that question because you mentioned that there were some pump action guns that had been fired. Yeah. You have your crime scene pictures. At least we've seen a few of those crime scene pictures. Have you, or are you aware of the officer, the CID, having found any bullet shells from the pump action guns? Have they recovered any shell cases that appear to have been fired from a pump action gun so far?
Not yet. Not yet. I've not seen one as yet.
I see. And my final question would be the injuries. You yourself have sustained an injury which you have said to us is not directly as a result of the mob action.
Yes,
and so I'm curious to find out how many people in all, from a police standpoint, have been injured or fallen as a result of this incident.
Apart from the 4 others who followed after the two guys who received the gunshots, we were told that 4 others sustained injuries, and they were treated and discharged. And then myself and the military officer, for the military officer, he had this in their contact with the mob, but mine did not occur at that place. When I was returning to ensure that the police station is protected, that I sustained the injury.
Well, thank you.
I'm saying, let me bring to your attention that the military, they were here, they testified. None of them mentioned it that their officer in command of the men on the ground sustained any injury or was hit by a stone.
For me, I saw it because I was in charge, the police team, and that the officer who was later on taken, as a result of the stone injury, that in the evening he was taken away. I was just right beside him when the stone hit him, because we were back, they were backing us, but the two of us were communicating. Once we moved the two teams, we were communicating. So he was just ahead of me when the stone hit him.
So you are saying the stone hit him before you withdrew your men?
Yes, my lord.
And at the time you were withdrawing your men, had the military replaced the officer who was hit by the stone?
No, my lord. After the operation, after the encounter with the mob, and we all retreated, it was late in the evening, around 8 p.m. because we were all sleeping at the office.
Okay.
So around 8, that he complained of pains, and I didn't see him. Later I saw a new officer who came to introduce himself to me.
So though he was hit with the stone, as you are alleging, he was still in command?
Yes, so it is only him who can tell me the extent of how he felt, whether he was managing it or maybe he was making arrangements, because under normal circumstances, if you are leading a crew, you cannot leave the scene. Maybe I felt he was making arrangements with his authority to be replaced.
You said you were there when he was hit.
Yes.
Do you think, in your estimation, he was seriously injured?
No, no, because it hit his leg, the down part of his leg. The stone hits the down part, and if it is not all, maybe the trousers may.
And the boots.
Yes, and the boots will.
Thank you.
Commander.
Yes, my lord.
Did you know the name of this officer you are describing?
Yes, sir. He is called Lieutenant Edusei.
Lieutenant Edusei.
Yes, my lord.
Can we note it and see if we can get him? Because the chairman was asking, because the military has not indicated that they got any casualty at all. They got any problem at all.
That is why I'm saying maybe I was there when he was hit, but as I don't know how serious he took it.
As a military man, he was trying to hide it, right?
Yeah, well, I can't read his mind why he did not complain, but I was right with him when he was hit.
All right. I'm going to take you through most of the things you have said and to see. I'm going to take you through some of the things you said and to see whether it can help the commission come out with findings and recommendations. You seem to state that it is Kake's death that triggered off the whole process of what we are talking about now, right?
Partly.
You believe that there were underlying causes?
Yes, my lord.
Like?
For instance, when the crowd or the mob who attacked the police station on Monday came and they were vandalizing the station, we decided not to confront them, but we were persuading them, talking to them. And then there were other opinion leaders we know in town that when they talk, the boys listen. For example, we had Honorable Gifty Indoma. She was with us. Prior to the incident, she came, was making arrangements for her father's funeral, the Kokoma chief funeral the next day. So she came and was coming to find out the security arrangements she had arranged with us. So when the mob came, she was around, and we spoke to her to assist to talk to the boys, the rioters, because we knew she could tell them something, and she really did. So we were persuading them. We were begging, me, myself, and my crime officer, and the military, the few military men who were there on standby, told them that you can't attack the police station, which is protecting you here. So if you burn down the police station, tomorrow, if you get a problem, where will you report? Will you go to Mampong or where? So when they persuaded them, then they turned, they left and they headed towards the district assembly revenue checkpoint. And in the course of that, some of them mentioned that some Mabuya MP, Yankamoshi, and Nasumokum Yenipaswakaho. So I saw that statement could be something. So Kaka's death was part of it, but for that statement alone, I can think that it's not only, they have other intentions.
Okay, that's important, because underlying fact, it's like Kake's death was only a trigger, and there were other underlying factors. I seem to worry about your relationship with Operation Calm Life and COVID, because in your narration, it didn't seem to me that you were aware that somebody had sent them there.
Yeah, my lord, the Operation Calm Life operates in the municipality, but at our level at the Ejura district, it is only the personnel I have, the command, that we use for everything. So, but we are aware of the Calm Life and the COVID team, because Kumasi is the regional capital. We have them working jointly with the military, but in our level at the district, we don't have them.
But you reported that, or in your narration, in your testimony, you said you contacted Calm Life.
No, I didn't. It was a question posed to me. I said I called for reinforcement.
Yes.
And my divisional commander assured me that he has communicated to the regional command, and a reinforcement team will be brought. So the team that came comprised of military and police team. And the police team, because I'm a police officer, I was able to identify the groups that came. They were not only FPU. We had the SWAT team and then the anti-robbery team mixed with the police team. But that of the military, I cannot know.
No, I read all, I heard all that. At a point, you said I consulted with the military commander to assist at a point. But my worry over there, I'm not saying that you...
I'm talking of the one on the ground with me.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's where my question is going to come
yes.
from. Which shows that the operation was not coordinated. You were on the ground, Operation Carb Life was coming, there was no coordination, and so you were overwhelmed. They also came, and so your own operation was haphazard. Would you agree?
No, sir, I don't agree with you.
Why so? Because at a point you had to consult the commander on, because if you had been, if you had briefed them, and you had strategic kind of correspondence amongst you, you would know what to do, who to do what. That's a source of worry to me.
My Lord, when the team arrives, even though they have come to back us, so I deal with the commander, but the deployment, because they are backed, we will, if let's say we are going to a place, we will have majority of the team as policemen, and maybe in a team the military will add one. So when it comes to the deployment of the personnel on the ground, it is their commander whom, when I request that they will come and stand by, but when we are moving and we feel we are not threatened in any way, depending on where we are going, it is not all the time that they are always on standby. It is when we feel threatened one way or the other, then we tell them, okay, this group, we would like you to join us.
Commander, that is my biggest worry. That is my biggest worry in riot control in Ghana. The team came. What you're telling me now shows that they really didn't take over.
No, I'm talking, they took over. You see, they came as a backup.
Yes.
And we police were trying as much as possible not to move the military to face the mob. But like I was saying, on Monday, when they came to attack, we were all there, but nobody touched anybody. We tried to persuade them. And then it was on 29th when we saw that the number of the mob had increased, and the number was seriously times 3 that of the Monday, and our strength was not enough. So even with that, the military gave us 7 backing, only 7, and then the rest were there. So we moved. We were 15 that we moved.
Commander, I'm very happy about your movement. I'm worried about what civil, police, and military should coordinate to do at the theater of operation. What you are describing is such that they came and you didn't have any strategic operational standard of SOP.
We have.
You have, the police you have, and they have theirs.
We have, because I was saying that we deployed the men. We have those who were meeting the mob.
Who was in command?
When we are on the ground and the military join us.
No. That's a theoretical thing. On that day in Ejura, who was in command in the deployment and what?
Myself. When the military were not there. Sir, you see, it is anytime when we request the presence of the military, immediately the military comes, then they are in command. That is the operational strategy. When they join us, they take over.
Exactly.
But when they are not there, and we are there, I'm there alone with the team there, our policemen, I'm in charge.
But my inclination is this, that when they came, you didn't have anybody in command. You were commanding the police, and they were also doing their
No, sir. I normally consult the commander. And then when they arrive, immediately they arrive, he will come to me for briefing.
Yes.
I'll brief him the situation on the ground.
Did you hand over to them?
No.
So that's why I'm asking, who was in command? Because when the military arrived and you are overwhelmed, you give your briefing, you hand over to them. Did you hand over?
I was in command, but I briefed him because he had just come to support us. So I'll brief him the situation on the ground. So I was in command at the time.
So you were in command. All the military operations, you were still in command.
Yes, I was leading the team.
But that is against the normal practice.
Yes. But so...
Okay. If you agree that it's against normal practice, that's okay. Then, the question of gunshots. Some questions have been asked already to your superiors and to you today. But would you say that the injured may have sustained their injuries from within the crowd? Or is the military that caused the injury?
My Lord, like I was saying, we were leading, and at a time when we were overwhelmed, we retreated. Knowing that, and we retreated, and the military took over. So quickly we rushed to the station. So during the engagement with the mob, we were not there. I was not there, so I cannot tell. But I heard that there has been some casualty.
Okay. Would you agree that you were ill-equipped for the operation?
Pardon me?
Would you agree that you, as the police force, was ill-equipped for the operation?
Sir, in terms of what?
Resources, men.
Oh, sir, as at the time, it was not like that.
Why? Because you couldn't face the crowd. You invited the military. And I'm saying, do you think the police?
We requested for reinforcement, but it is not me personally as a district commander who requested for the military. I only requested for reinforcement.
No.
And they are the team that were brought to me.
Commander, take your time. You are not at the court. Nobody is blaming you. We want facts. We want facts. Because if you were properly equipped, you wouldn't ask for reinforcement. If you are asking for reinforcement, you wouldn't ask for the military. You would ask for more reinforcement from your side, from the police. And that's why I'm asking, are you sure that within your small command, you were ill-equipped for the task?
Sir, we did what we could.
Do with what you had?
Yes.
That's right. I think no further questions.
Commander, I think maybe you are not appreciating the point Prof is putting across. If the district command at Ejura is well resourced, men, equipment, materials, and what have you, there wouldn't have been the need for the police district command to have asked for a backup. And is it not that we are blaming you? We just want to find out how best our recommendations can assist your outfit, that in the future increase the number of police personnel at Ejura, in view of the fact that Ejura is a hotspot. In future, adequately resource Ejura District Command with the needed logistics, so that is why he's asking. But you think maybe he wants to put a blame on you? No,
sir.
He is only asking whether you were adequately resourced. If that is ill-equipped,
yes.
If you were not adequately resourced, you just say, yes, we were not adequately resourced. Then in our recommendation, we can put it across.
My Lord, I was not understanding it from that point. But if it is about resource, yes, because Ejura as a district, with our personnel, they are woefully inadequate.
The fact is that most often than not, when institutions come and you want to find out more about their logistical inadequacies, they think you want to attack them. No. At the end of this exercise, we have to make our recommendations. So if you have challenges and you don't tell us, but you try to cover it, how do we make, as for the region, they will tell you we have all the resources. But at the time they requested for backup, the time frame was too short, and we have to immediately send men. You understand? But you are on the ground. Do you think if You had adequate tear gas. You had adequate riot shield, and you had adequate men on the ground to face the ×3 youth or the mob, which surfaced on Monday. Do you think you would have asked for a backup? So that clearly shows that
Yes,
in terms of resources, men and the logistics, you were not adequately resourced.
yes, sir.
You
For
answer
that.
yes, we were not adequately resourced, so
Yes.
that we can note it down and put in a recommendation for that to be addressed.
Yes, my lord. That is why I said I did not understand it from that
Very
point.
well.
That
If you
point
don't
of view.
understand a question next time, you ask for explanation than
Yes.
to try
So-
to cover your inadequacies. We thank you very much and for joining us to assist. We are very grateful to you, and we hope we will get to the bottom of this matter. Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
DSP.
Thank you, sir, my lord.
We are grateful. Can we have the Citi News one here?